Hello everyone and welcome to the Monday Project meeting. It is February 25th and we've got a great slate for you today. As is customary, we're going to start off with Friends of Mozilla. The developer outreach team would like to give a big thanks to Mozilla Tech speakers Gabriel, Eugenio, and Aya, who gave talks this past week in Italy and Palestine. Also, like to wish safe travels and good luck to tech speaker Andre Garcia, who will be speaking at Scuttle Camp in New Zealand, and also to Depeche, Hujing, Dewanshi, Risky, and Yamama, who will be hosting and leading global diversity CFP workshops around the globe this coming weekend. A big round of applause for all of our friends of Mozilla this week. We've got a couple events to tell you about. On Wednesday, February 27th, we've got the add-ons community meeting at 8 a.m. Pacific time in the ACE video room for all things add-ons related. And on Saturday, March 2nd, the second annual Global Diversity CFP Day. Dozens of free workshops hosted by volunteers around the globe to encourage and advise new and diverse speakers to put together a first talk proposal and share their perspective on any subject of interest to people in tech. Mozilla Vancouver and Berlin offices will be hosting events, and Mozillians on most continents are participating in workshops in their local communities. Each workshop will have experienced speakers on hand to give a warm, inclusive welcome in a safe space, to mentor your proposal, to provide speaking advice, and to share their enthusiasm to get you on the stage. It's not too late to lend a hand or join a workshop. Want to get involved? Got questions? Please ping Javi on email or find her on Slack. Again, Saturday, March 2nd, the Global Diversity CFP Day. I think that's it for our events. We've got several speakers today. We start off with Alicia here in Mountain View to talk to us about the annual privacy training.
Good morning, everybody. Alicia Gray from Trust and Security. So this is just a heads up. Some of you got a preliminary email a little early, so we apologize for confusion. But annual privacy training is coming. So if you handle employee data on a regular basis, if you handle user data on a regular basis, such as community managers or people with access to the Salesforce database, your annual privacy training will be announced tomorrow, and then you'll get your formal link. It's about 30 minutes through an online training platform, really easy module. I encourage you to take it. It's kind of cute and funny, so something we do regularly, and we hope you enjoy it, so just keep an eye out for that. And if you have any questions about it, Lily Chaskelman will be your point of contact this year. Thanks.
Thank you, Alicia. Next up is me with your weekly Firefox update. Firefox 65.0.1 is our current stable release. 66 is in the beta channel and ships to our release audience on March 19th, so just a few weeks away. Beta 9 and 10 shipped last week, and beta 11 and 12 shipped tomorrow and Friday of this week. Over the last week, we uplifted about 30 bugs from nightly to beta, including a change to themes that I'll mention in the nightly section, a fix for PDFs that weren't rendering properly, and a fix for links from external apps opening in the wrong browser window. Firefox 67 is in the nightly channel, and it moves to stable on May 14th. Over the last week, there have been about 450 bugs resolved, including these notable ones. Firefox dark and light themes no longer honor the Windows 10 settings for account colors in the title bar. I mentioned about a month ago that we changed that. We made it so that it did honor the Windows 10 settings for accent color, but people who were using the dark theme were a little upset that they had strange colored title bars that weren't dark. So we reverted that change so that we no longer honor the Windows 10 setting for accent colors for the dark and light theme. We do for the default theme though. Crypto mining and fingerprinting blocking options are now available in the content blocking of the options preference. You have to go to the custom settings, and they're not enabled by default. You can enable these, and it will block known fingerprinters and known crypto miners. And last but not least, Pin Tab is now available in the Page Actions menu. That's the three little dots in the far right of the address bar where you can find relevant commands for the current tab or current page you're viewing. That's it for the Firefox update this week. Next up, we have David Bryant with the Emerging Technologies update.
Thanks, Lisa. This is one of those weeks where our updates are all about things to help you have a greater understanding about what we're up to in emerging technologies kind of under the hood with some of the technologies that we're building and using. So these are all opportunities to go read something or watch a video and So it'll be up to you as to how deep into the weeds you actually want to get. First one is Diane Hausfeldt's actually writing a 3-part blog series. We just published episode number 2, so you can also go back and read episode number 1. Fearless Security Hacks is the title of the topic. This particular episode is about concurrency, which is something that computers are really good at, but as humans, it's actually hard to figure out how to sort of safely and properly articulate. Happily, Rust as a programming language helps us with that, and in the process of helping with concurrency also helps with some of the typical security vulnerabilities that get encountered when you're trying to figure out how to write code that can do multiple things at the same time and not have all that step on each other. So check out the blog post, learn a little bit about concurrency and about security and the advantages of using Rust. Second item is a talk that Tim Terryberry gave at Linux Conference Australia about how AV1 works. We've talked a lot about AV1 and how it's being picked up by both playback and encoding partners in the marketplace. Tim's talk walks you through sort of generally how codecs work, if you've ever been curious about that while you were watching all those videos and you wanted to know what the computer was doing underneath or your mobile phone to let you get the benefit of that entertainment. And then also talks a little bit about some of the internals of AV1. Can be kind of a deeply technical roller coaster ride, but maybe you want to know how vector quantization works. So watch the video and check it out and learn more about AV1 and why it's a great thing for royalty video on the web. And the last highlight actually didn't come from us. It came from a company called Deliveroo, which is a British online food delivery company, and they built their business around software that they use to track and route their delivery drivers using Ruby. So everything in their infrastructure is built using Ruby. And as their business grew and scaled up, they discovered that they were having performance and throughput problems. They sat down and looked at a particularly key piece of that, the dispatcher, which does all of that handling and also is a place for them to begin to implement machine learning to try and intelligently manage their fleet of drivers. And after some analysis, they decided to rewrite the dispatcher in Rust, sort of their first foray into Rust from a production perspective within their environment. And the blog post is a really great sort of wandering through their thinking as to why they did it, how they implemented it incrementally so they could change out pieces of their Ruby infrastructure with Rust and not disrupt the operation of the dispatcher, and some preliminary performance results that showed that the computationally intensive parts of the dispatcher are 17 times faster on Rust than they were with Ruby. So sort of a good view of things that's published on their external developer blog, not on ours. So opportunities to understand more about what we're up to in ET and some of how the Cortex having impact in the world. And I will turn it back over to you, Asa.
Thank you, David. Next up, we have Andrew coming to you this week with our weekly minute.
It's time for the Weekly Minute Update, where we tell you all the things IT is doing to help Mozillians in their mission to keep the web a global public resource. It's time for the Weekly Minute Update, where we tell you all the things IT is doing to help Mozillians in their mission to keep the web a global public resource, open and accessible to all. First, a quick update from the IT Data and Analytics team. The data team completed work with the Firefox iOS team to onboard their telemetry into the Amplitude platform last week. Great job, data team. They're also working on a Salesforce integration that will soon give us critical insight into what exactly happens to all those marketing emails we send out. Stay tuned for updates on that. Next up, the AV Ops team, in addition to their campaign to eradicate zombie meetings in Europe, has also added 4 new event board features to the boards outside of conference rooms. If you're in our Europe-based offices, look for some new prompts, and be sure to give your personal feedback on getting rid of some of those long-lived meetings. Also on the AV Ops front, there's a lot of work happening around Air Mozilla right now. Look for a survey in the coming days via email, or feel free to share your general Air Mozilla feedback in the #Air Mozilla channel on Slack. Only you can increase the level of awesome on Air Mozilla. Finally, the Connected Workplaces project is launching its first in-house developed application this week, and it's a Slack bot. Now, as existing employees, you likely won't be interacting with this Slack bot. That's because the bot is for new Mozillians. The bot, codenamed Newbie, is designed to ease new hires into life at Mozilla a little bit at a time by giving them a bit of useful information each day. More information can be found on the newbie help page posted in the hashtag MoCo and ITFYI Slack channels. And that's the minute. See you next week.
Thank you, Andrew. A reload to see if anything else has come onto the agenda. It doesn't look like it. And with that, we move on to new hire introductions. The first one coming to us from San Francisco with Cherry introducing Tyler.
Hi, so the snow prevented me from making it up there in Portland, but Tyler is our new hire in product marketing, and she is located in the Portland, Oregon area. Hopefully you can see her on screen somewhere. She comes to us fresh from Microsoft, working on Windows, and she actually led the largest fan-based program there called Windows Insider. So super, super excited to have her. Fun fact, she owns a small bottle shop and bar about 10 minutes drive from the Portland office, so ask her about that. Welcome, Tyler.
Thank you.
And next we have Tushar introducing Joe.
Hey, everybody. I'm really excited to introduce Joe Tuckman, who's joining Pocket as our head of sales. Joe is coming to us from Fairfield, although he'll be spending his first week in San Francisco. Fun fact is he and his wife actually own a donut shop in Connecticut, and so feel free to ask him about that. We're really excited to have him. He comes to us by way of King and will be leading sales at Pocket.
Happy to be here.
One last reload to see if anything else has come onto the list. It doesn't look like it. So with that, we'll hope you all have a great week. We'll see you next Monday. And until then, keep on rocking the free web.